When you slap your opponent at the weigh-in, spit water in his brother's face, you're not just selling a fight, you're writing your own downfall.
Why are you so angry?
I'm in a fight mood, man. What, you think I come to play games?
Trash talk is meant to rattle, to intimidate, to break an opponent before a single punch is thrown.
I respect you, man. Tomorrow I'll show you, man. Tomorrow I'll show you.
But words don't win fights. The ring is the ultimate truth serum. It strips away bravado, exposes weaknesses, and punishes false confidence with brutal reality. And when the talking stops, the punches always land harder than the words ever could. Welcome back to Fight Story.
Tomorrow.
I kiss just women. The man's, it's not my...
I swing both ways, player.
Fighters use mind games to gain an edge, but Dereck Chisora took things further than most. He wasn't just talking, he was provoking, pushing every boundary to rattle the Klitschko brothers. His relentless trash talk and over-the-top antics set the stage for one of the most heated heavyweight showdowns in recent history. The tension had been building for years. Chisora was originally scheduled to fight Vladimir Klitschko in 2010, but when Vladimir pulled out due to injury, Chisora refused to accept the explanation. He accused him of dodging the fight, adding fuel to a rivalry that only intensified when Chisora was finally set to face Vitali instead.
The whole world want me to win. From down southern Africa to the States to Europe. They want me to win.
I don't know about that.
No, trust me. They tired of you. They
Yes,
tired.
of course, yes, of course.
You don't bring excitement,
Yes, of course.
man. You're a big bully in the playground. You know, you're the kind of kid who goes around taking other people's candy and think you're a big bully. From round 1 to round 12 or whatever, but you're going down on the 8th round anyway. You don't pull out the fight like your little brother did, and then we get it on.
At the weigh-in, Chisora turned the hostility up a notch. Without warning, he slapped Vitali across the face, an act of sheer disrespect that shocked everyone in the room.
Why are you so angry?
I'm in a fight mood, man. What, you think I come to play games? I'm all cool, I'm Mr. Nice when it's nice. You know, I can give you what you want. I ain't come here to play games, I come to fight.
Then, just before the fight, he confronted Vladimir and spat water in his face, adding another level of insult. It was no longer just about boxing, it was personal. When the fight began, Chisora charged forward, determined to make it a war. He attacked the body, kept the pressure on, and tried to break Klitschko down round by round. Round after round, Chisora absorbed clean, precise shots, yet he kept pressing forward. By the middle rounds, Chisora was still pressing forward, absorbing Klitschko's best shots, but he wasn't landing anything meaningful. Vitali, despite dealing with an injured left shoulder, controlled the fight with one hand, slamming home straight rights whenever Chisora got too close. By the championship rounds, the pattern was set, Chisora pushing forward, Klitschko picking him apart. The Brit's resilience was undeniable, but so was Klitschko's dominance. As the final bell rang, there was no doubt who had won. The judges confirmed what everyone had seen, a dominant unanimous decision victory for Vitali Klitschko. And as Chisora stood there, battered and exhausted, both Klitschko brothers stood over him, one victorious in the ring, the other victorious in silence. Whatever war Chisora had tried to start, it had ended with a Klitschko triumph. This is Naoya Inoue, the monster, a humble, quiet assassin from Japan, known for letting his fists do the talking. But on this night, he wasn't just looking for another knockout. He wanted revenge. 3 days before the fight, Emmanuel Rodriguez's trainer, William Cruz, crossed the line. In the middle of a workout, Cruz shoved Inoue's father and longtime coach, Shingo Inoue, for absolutely no reason. It was a blatant show of disrespect. Naoya didn't say a word. He didn't react. But inside, something changed. The thing is, when you mess with a fighter's father, who also happens to be his coach, you're not just playing mind games, you're making the fight personal. And that is exactly what happened. The bell rang, and from the very first second it was clear. Inoue wasn't just here to win, he was here to punish. Rodriguez, a skilled and undefeated champion, had never been knocked down in his career. But none of that mattered. Inoue's speed, precision, and power overwhelmed him instantly. One devastating left hook put Rodriguez on the canvas for the first time ever. He got up, but his legs were unsteady. He could already feel the power difference. Then came the body shots. The first one, a brutal left to the ribs, sent Rodriguez down again, gasping for air. The second one, it folded him in half. The sound of the punch echoed through the arena as Rodriguez hit the mat, writhing in pain. Inoue could have gone for a highlight reel headshot to finish the fight, but that wasn't the goal. He wanted maximum pain, and nothing does that better than a perfectly placed body shot. Less than 2 rounds. That's all it took. Rodriguez lost his belt, his pride, and shortly after, his trainer. The same trainer who had started the entire mess with one unnecessary shove. After the fight, Inoue made it clear. Rodriguez's coach had no respect for my father. That's why I went straight for the knockout, to hit him in a vindictive way. Trash talk between fighters is one thing. But when you disrespect a fighter's family, especially in a sport where fathers and coaches are often the same person, you're playing with fire. And on that night, Emmanuel Rodriguez paid the price.
Tomorrow.
Kubrat Pulev entered the fight brimming with confidence, taunting Anthony Joshua at every opportunity. In the build-up, he promised to break Joshua mentally and physically, even laughing off the idea that the British champion could hurt him. But talking is easy. Backing it up is another story.
I respect you, man. Tomorrow I'll show you, man. You talk too much. Tomorrow I'll show you.
He's world champion now. Today, last day for him, world champion. But tomorrow, will different situation.
When the fight began, Joshua took his time, controlling the distance with his jab. Pulev tried to pressure forward, but his attacks were sloppy, and his most effective moments were illegal rabbit punches in the clinch.
It's under the hook as well, weaves underneath.
Then, in round 3, Joshua unleashed a brutal flurry, backing Pulev into a corner before dropping him with a devastating right uppercut.
Around the ring, hits him with an uppercut as well. Another uppercut. That hurt Pulev. Pulev's on the ropes, he's hurt. He turns his back.
Pulev barely made the count, grinning as if to suggest he was unfazed. But the reality was clear. He was hurt.
On the ropes again. Turns away. Does he want any more? The uppercut. Pulev down on his back.
Pulev survived for a few more rounds, but Joshua stayed patient, landing precise shots and setting up the inevitable finish. In round 9, Joshua once again detonated a series of uppercuts, sending Pulev crashing to the canvas. He barely got up, but moments later a vicious straight right hand ended the fight for good. This wasn't just a knockout, it was a lesson. Pulev talked, but Joshua executed. And when it was over, only one man stood tall, proving once again that actions speak louder than words.
Boxing's about less talk and more action, and I hope everyone was satisfied tonight.
Extra, extra, read all about it. Shane fight me is like a dog scratching off a flea. It's going to be easy.
Monte Barrett came to New Zealand brimming with confidence. Fresh off a victory over Tszyu, a man who had demolished Shane Cameron in just 2 rounds, Barrett made it clear that he expected an easy night. In the lead-up to the fight, he dismissed Cameron as a non-threat, insisting there was no way he would lose to him.
I just know he's a built white guy with a big jawline, and
Big target.
He's gonna be a big target. He just seemed very angry. He got more gray hairs than me, and I'm 40. I think he's 34, so I think he might be wearing the wrong pants. Shane Cameron, he has no personality. He's just a mean guy who think, his little muscles and all that stuff is gonna scare anybody. He's about to feel it tomorrow. It's not a game. It's not a game. I'm here to play and tear his head off.
But when the bell rang, Cameron had other plans. From the opening rounds, Cameron fought with calculated aggression, staying patient as Barrett tried to impose his experience.
Overextend. Big right. Monte felt that.
Then in the 4th round, Cameron exploded with a thunderous right hand. Barrett collapsed to the canvas, dazed and unable to continue. In just 18 seconds of the 4th round, Cameron had silenced all doubts and secured one of the biggest knockouts of his career. For Cameron, this was redemption. Years earlier, he had been on the receiving end of a brutal stoppage against Tszyu. Now, he had done to Barrett what Tszyu had done to him. The lesson: never underestimate a hungry fighter.
How does it feel to do something that David Tszyu couldn't do, and that is beat Monte 2 games Barrett?
Well, mate, what that shows is one punch can change the whole fight. David did that to me, and I did to Barrett tonight. You know, it just shows you how brutal the sport can be.
When they called me and said, "Would you fight Tim?" I said, "I do. I do. Yes. Right now."
Tszyu wasn't just fighting for an interim title. He was fighting to prove he was more than just Costa's kid. Tony Harrison, the only man to ever beat Jermell Charlo, had been talking like he was about to school Tszyu on the sweet science. He called him basic, promising to expose him as just another overhyped contender.
Tim, I feel like, has fought and beat everybody that they told him to beat. He hasn't crossed the pond to beat guys like me. He hasn't faced those guys to be next up to fight for everything. Come on, man, that's a last name thing. Skill level is totally beneath me. Totally. Like 100,000, totally beneath. This time he gotta dig. He gotta dig in that bag and find that. He ain't never been in those fights to find it. What's in here? What's in my... I'm better. I'm smarter. I'm quick. I'm reactive. I come from the tutelage of the best. Ali, Emmanuel Stewart, Detroit. I've sparred the
fighter. When I completely, this is a sharper fighter than the fighter I saw fight Terrell. So he's rapidly getting better, man. Yeah, they're doing a good job with the kids.
We just beat Lomachenko. We just became undisputed
Lomachenko.
And what we felt,
Lomachenko.
what we felt as what was very important.
Regis Prograis had one goal: remind everyone why he was the boogeyman at 140 pounds. He called Devin Haney a runner, mocked his power, and promised to drag him into deep waters. But there was just one problem. Haney wasn't planning on swimming.
I'm gonna show you what I'm gonna do.
Hell of time.
Your son up, bro. You could never knock out nobody. How you gonna knock me out? What are you talking about, Bill? You a soft ass, bro. You soft ass, and it's not your hometown.
Little Devin Haney from the Henderson, Nevada. Haney representing y'all. He gonna get knocked right here in his hometown, supposed his hometown.
From the opening bell, Haney made it clear that the so-called runner was actually the ring general. Prograis came forward, swinging like he was trying to hit a piñata at his own birthday party. But Haney wasn't there to be touched. Sharp jabs, crisp counters, and effortless footwork had Prograis lunging at air while Haney racked up points like he was playing a video game. By round 3, Haney was in full control, landing at will and making Prograis look like he was fighting in slow motion. The gap in skill wasn't just apparent, it was embarrassing.
I don't think Prograis limited. I think Devin Haney's making it seem that way.
After 12 rounds of pure domination, the scorecards were a formality. Haney had just schooled the two-time champ, taking his WBC title and his aura of invincibility in one night.
That is good. He better than what I thought, not gonna lie. I'm gonna give him credit. I'm gonna give Bill credit. I'm gonna give Team Haney credit. Look, we still keep the same energy. You know me, I'm gonna still keep the same energy. What I say, what I mean, but I'm gonna tell the truth. Devin Haney better than what I thought, not gonna lie, he is.
I don't talk just for the sake of talking. When I turn professional, I am going to be a heavyweight champion before I retire.
Some fighters talk a big game to sell a fight. Others do it because they genuinely believe they're destined for greatness. Audley Harrison? It was hard to tell if he was selling a dream or just living in one. Harrison had clawed his way back from the depths of irrelevance, winning the prizefighter tournament and scoring a last-second knockout over Michael Sprott. Then, in the most bizarre twist, he met Eddie Hearn at a poker table. One conversation later, and Hearn was working behind the scenes to land Harrison the biggest fight of his career, a shot at Haye's WBA heavyweight title. David Haye and Audley Harrison had history. This wasn't just hype. These two knew each other from their amateur days. And according to Haye, Harrison had been avoiding him for years.
I've seen cruiserweights put you down. I've seen, even going back in the day, I've seen light heavyweights put you down. When I've knocked you out and I've got your belt, I'll come right over you, give you some ice and say, am I still delusional? People think this is the David Haye show. It's not. This is the Audley Harrison show. This is part of my journey. And I'm knocking out David Haye, a guy that I laid out the red carpet to when he was coming through. And trust me when I say this, that this is my time.
Then the fight happened. For 2 rounds, Harrison barely did anything. Fans watched in disbelief as he stood there, hesitant, throwing almost no punches. At one point, even the referee stepped in and urged him to fight. Meanwhile, Haye took his time, barely breaking a sweat, waiting for the inevitable.
To become a world champion. Now the big right hand has hurt him. He was stunned by that. The gloves were dropped. He's into him here. He's getting to him here. Oh, big shots raining through.
Haye finally decided he'd had enough. A massive right hand sent Harrison crashing to the canvas. He got up, only to be knocked down again seconds later. The fight was over, just like Haye had predicted. The backlash was immediate. Fans and pundits ripped into Harrison for his lack of effort. Some even speculated whether he threw the fight. But realistically, he didn't throw much of anything, including punches.
I think the bad blood's gone now. You know, I've known Audley for many years, and you know, I'd like to, take him out for a drink after this.
That's nice to hear. Wonderful occasion, wonderful atmosphere.